Superlative adjective forms.
Superlative forms of descriptive adjectives are used when comparing three or more people, places, or things. Some examples. John is the tallest student in the class. I am comparing John with all of the other students in the class. Seattle is the wettest city in the United States. Comparing Seattle with all of the other cities in the United States. English is the most popular language in the world, comparing English with all other languages. Chicken is the least expensive item on the menu, comparing the price of chicken with other things on the menu. English has two different ways of forming the superlative of descriptive adjectives. One way is to add the suffix est. The suffix est is added to most one-syllable adjectives. For example, tall, tallest, nice, nicest, soft, softest. The suffix est is also added to most two-syllable adjectives that end in the letter y. Heavy, heaviest, pretty, prettiest, goofy, goofiest. Finally, the suffix est is added to most two-syllable adjectives that have stress on the first syllable and which end in the letters ly, ow, or le. Examples are deadly, deadliest, friendly, friendliest, narrow, narrowest, shallow, shallowest, gentle, gentlest, simple, simplest. The second way to form the superlative is by adding the words the most or the least before descriptive adjectives. We use the most or the least before two-syllable adjectives and before all adjectives of three or more syllables. Here you see some examples. Comfortable, the most comfortable. Interesting, the most interesting. Difficult, the least difficult. So, if the adjective has two or more syllables, in most cases we will use the most or the least to form the superlative. However, you should note that some two-syllable adjectives can use the suffix est or the words the most. For example, handsome, you can form the superlative by adding the est suffix, the handsomest, or you can form the superlative by using the most handsome. Quiet, the quietest, or the most quiet. So there are some descriptive adjectives that permit either the suffix or the use of the most. There are a few one-syllable descriptive adjectives that form the superlative by using the most or the least. Bored, the most bored. Scared, the least scared. Fun, the most fun. So there are a few exceptions to the normal rules for forming the superlative. There are also a few irregular superlatives. As with the comparative, good, bad, and far are irregular. The superlative of good is the best, the superlative of bad, the worst, the superlative of far, the farthest. There are some spelling rules for descriptive adjectives that form the superlative by adding the suffix est. If an adjective that requires the suffix est ends in the silent letter e, that is an e that is not pronounced, then only the st are added. Examples: safe, safest, late, latest. This is also true for those two-syllable adjectives that use the est suffix. We have the example simple, which ends in a silent e, simplest, noble, noblest. So if you add the est suffix to a word that has a silent e at the end, only the st is added. We don't add another e. If an adjective that takes the est suffix ends in one vowel letter followed by one consonant letter, but not the consonant letters C, K, W, X, or Y, then the final consonant is doubled before adding the est suffix. For example, fat, fattest, with two T's. Big, biggest, two G's. Slow, slowest. Only one W because we never double the W. Do not double the final consonant letter if it is preceded by two vowel letters or if there is another consonant before it. For example, deep, deepest. Because the P is preceded by two vowel letters, we do not double the P. Fast, fastest. Because the final T is preceded by another consonant letter S, we do not double the final T. These rules are similar to the rules for forming the comparative form of these adjectives. It should be noted that these are spelling rules. These have no effect on pronunciation. Most adjectives that end in the letter Y and take the est suffix change the Y to the letter I before adding the est. Examples: heavy, heaviest; busy, busiest; noisy, noisiest; scary, scariest.